Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me is our host, Logan Landers. How's it going, Logan?
Jeremiah, I'm doing awesome, buddy. Hey, we just did a great video on the incoming freshman, Harrison Bailey. Hey, we're about to talk about another quarterback in Jarrett Guarantano right now.
Hey, Jarrett Guarantano, he is the Vols quarterback from last season too, right? He's actually put up some numbers. We know a little bit about a data stream on him, and he's about to lead a much different Vols team than he's ever had to. And I'm just going to tell you, like, people in Vols Nation, we are hyped. We are excited, and we are ready to hear more about Jarrett Guarantano. So, Mr. Logan Landers, will you take it away?
Yes, sir, I will. Let's do it. Jarrett Guarantano, the 6'4", 230-pound, fifth-year senior out of Bergen Catholic High School. Let's talk about his high school stats, buddy. Hey, 3,028 yards, 60.7 completion percentage, one of my favorite stats. You know, I like to look at in any quarterback, are they accurate? Hey, he was in high school, man. 23 touchdowns, 523 rushing yards, and 12 touchdowns also. So he showed in high school that he's able to run the ball a little bit too. He's able to get some yards, able to get some touchdowns as well. We haven't seen that too much out of college yet, but hey, he's got it if he needs to. So he was highly touted coming out of high school. He's got offers from Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, and the Oklahoma Sooners. So, hey, he was sought after coming out of high school. But he chose to get the Vols instead. And, hey, going into his 2017 year, he had a great season, man. So, in 9 games, he had 61.9% completion percentage with 997 yards and 4 touchdowns as well for his sophomore year. So just absolutely amazing. Hey, so he's a fifth-year senior, right? So he had to go into another sophomore year because he didn't play his freshman year, as we saw. Right. So he went for 12 games, 1,907 yards, a 62.2 completion percentage, 12 touchdowns also. So he's improving, no doubt. Hey, a little bit more stats because you know we love stats on the show, man. All on the field, that's how we do it. 13 games, a 59.1% completion percentage, 2,158 yards, 16 touchdowns. So each year, steadily improving, moving up the ladder, going into his 5th year. What do I like about him, man? I love that he's got a chip on his shoulder this year. You know why? Because Harrison Bailey's right there. He's lurking. He's ready to take that spot, man. Like, Jarrett's not ready to give it up. I know he's been fighting. He's been the Vols quarterback for a little while now. I know Vols Nation, they love some Guarantano, no doubt. They've been through some ups and downs with him, but hey, I know that he's ready to ball out his senior year, his 5th year. Like I said, he's improved each year, and he's got that speed if he needs it. Like in high school, he ran for that many touchdowns and all those yards. So we haven't seen that much translated into college. He's been more of just a standard throwing quarterback as opposed to a dual threat quarterback like he was scouted to be. But he's got the speed if he needs it. Like I said, he's got pressure this year, too, with Harrison Bailey. And a lot of Vols Nation think that, they're going to have a lot better season this year. They've improved. They had that big win last year, and they had that big bowl win. So they already got some high hopes going into this season. And with a shortened year, they've definitely got some high hopes for the Vols this year. Yeah. Also, hey, he could be a potential draft pick also. I'm not saying he's going to be one of the highly touted quarterbacks, but you could see him definitely being a late-round sleeper pick, no doubt. I definitely think he could –
Real quick, Mr. Landers, let me interrupt you. Let me ask you a quick question about the dual threat, and let me get you to reshare your screen.
No problem, buddy.
So, as a dual threat, so that's something I remember people talking about when he was coming in, is that he was going to be a dual threat, but we didn't really see that evolve out of his play. Do you feel like that's more on the coaching side, or do you feel like that's just more like his stream of play as he was actually coming in?
I think it's a combination of both. Mm-hmm. Mostly because, like you said, he's got that speed, but certain coaches coach different ways. Yep. Coach Pruitt might prefer that he's more of just a standard throwing quarterback as opposed to a dual threat quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like I said, we talk a lot about these quarterbacks, especially the dual threat ones on the show, and some of them pan out to be more speedy than they are with the arm. But Jarrett's been able to show that he has a little bit more arm and a little bit more arm strength than some of the other quarterbacks. So I think that he's adapted to it as well. Definitely, I think he's been able to thrive in this kind of situation, especially in the playing in the SEC. You're going to have a lot more tougher defenders than you will in other conferences and whatnot. So I think that that's another reason he had to modify his game as well, because it's not going to be as easy to find a hole and pop through as he was in high school. So I think that that's definitely had to help him alter his game. But I think it's worked for him, though. Like I said, he's improved each year, and he's a solid player. I like his play. I think it's going to be a late-round draft pick later in the next year. But he's a solid player. I definitely see him getting drafted somewhere, and I think he's going to have a great year for the Vols this year.
Awesome. Yeah, well, anyway, I'll let you continue there.
Yeah, no problem, man. But, yeah, so all in all, Jarrett is a good quarterback for the Vols. I know some people love him, some people – but you're never going to get 1,000% love for any quarterback. That's how it always is. People say Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. There's a large population that don't like Tom Brady. Hey, but that's just how it is, man. That's just how football is, how any sport is. You're not going to love everyone 100%. But absolutely. No doubt. But, yeah, Jarrett's going to have a solid year for the Vols, I think. Harrison Bailey is coming up right behind him to take his spot, once this year's over. And, hey, I'd say the Vols are in good shape.
So we got a quick question. Coach Spencer wants to know, will his performance lead to them being a serious contender in the SEC this season? That's a great question.
Hey, shout out Coach Spencer. Does some great basketball videos for us, man. Like, yeah, I definitely think that, his performance will help them be a serious contender, no doubt. Like I said, Coach, he's, improved each year. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and like I said, he's got a good bit. He's got some good offensive weapons now. His defense is going to be stacked as well. I could see Tennessee being there's some people that are thinking be a sleeper pick this year, and I could definitely get behind that, no doubt, especially with the shortened season too. Yes. You could we've seen with baseball too, that a lot of the teams that might not be the best team going into the season have improved so far. So I definitely think that Tennessee's got a good chance of getting a lot more wins this year.
That's a really good point, that with the shortened season, a little less chance for big injuries. The teams don't necessarily have to have quite the stamina that they would have normally. They don't have to play this necessary long game that they normally would have to play on quite the same scale. And plus, the rules are being completely rewritten for this season. So given that, I think that the Vols have got this unique chance to really surge and have some great wins this year. It would be really interesting if they could just get a couple of really great upset wins over a couple of great teams and restart those great rivalries of the past. Absolutely. Well, for everybody watching, we are 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. We bring you live football videos every week. We talk about high school, college, and the NFL. We also bring you great history specials where we talk about all the classic teams. And if you missed our special on the 1998 Volunteers Championship season, check that out on our page, on our YouTube, or on our Facebook, or over on Twitch, where we're streaming live as well. So I am the producer, Jeremiah Long, and this is our host, Logan Landers. And for everybody out there watching, we just want you to know that we want you to tell us what you like and what you'd like to see on the show. So, for example, last week we posted our video about the 1998 Volunteers. Well, everybody in the comments were like, well, you got to talk about Al Wilson. You have to talk about Al Wilson. You have to talk about Al Wilson. I could show you the comments. Everybody knows, especially shout out to the Facebook group Vol Nation and Vols for Life. Those and a couple others, actually. Everybody watching from those, you guys drove our coverage, and we decided to do a very special history video all about Al Wilson that we'll be airing here shortly. And you've also got a great interview coming up, too. What's coming up for you?
Hey, man, I'm going to be interviewing my good buddy and David Shield. We're going to be previewing the Tennessee Volunteers this season, man. Hey, y'all are going to love him. He covers the Vols on WBIR in Tennessee. Hey, y'all are going to love this guy. Trust me.
Absolutely. Well, for everybody.
He's a solid dude all around.
So solid.
He loves him some Vols.
Heck yeah. Well, for everybody here at 100 Yards of Football, I am Jeremiah Long, and this has been Logan Landers.